Thanks for joining us on this digital edition of your News at 5. I'm Kate Kopatich. NBC is airing a few NBA games this afternoon, so we're bringing you tonight's headlines from right here in the newsroom. We start with an update this evening we first brought you last night. Clinton police say they have found Haley Norris, a woman we had previously reported missing. In a Facebook post, Clinton police say Norris was found and confirmed to be safe. They say thank you to the people of Clinton and the surrounding area for their help. Now to an update on a house fire Friday night in Moline. Officials say a person rescued from that fire has died. Crews responded to a house fire in the 4800 block of 47th Street around 5 Friday night. 2 people made it out of the home, but an 87-year-old had to be rescued. That person was taken to a local hospital for treatment, but died on Saturday. The fire remains under investigation. Now to a pair of fires this morning that East Moline firefighters responded to. First, firefighters responded to a machine shop fire. Firefighters were called to this machine shop located off Illinois Route 5 around 8:30 this morning. The fire was coming from a heater vent and they were able to put it out in about 20 minutes despite the frigid temperatures. And later, a woman escaped a East Moline house fire. Officials say the smoke significantly damaged a home in the 2600 block of 6th Street. A woman was inside the home at the time of the fire but got out safely. No word yet on the cause of the fire. Well, let's go ahead and take a break and check outside our weather. It was a cold one today, and that cold isn't going anywhere soon. And
no.
As weather specialist Teresa Bryant joins me, what are we looking ahead to the week?
Well, more cold air moving in,
Yeah.
And along with that, a few snow chances as well. Let's take a look at how we started off this week. Temperatures dropping down below zero for many of our northern counties and just barely around zero for parts of the south. 1 degree below zero. The low in Moline this morning. And now we've got that first alert day that remains in effect across our region for those dangerously cold conditions. Let's take a look at what we expect to see right now in the Quad Cities area. Mostly clear for the time being. 7 degrees here in the QC metro. Temperatures ranging from 7 degrees in Dubuque, 2 degrees in Dubuque, 3 degrees in Galena, 7 degrees in the Rock Falls area, 9 above in Muscatine and Washington. Finally in the double digits down to the south, 14 degrees in Keokuk with winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. The gusts are starting to diminish somewhat, but they're still there, up to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. So feels like 18 below now in Dubuque. Minus 14 in the Clinton area, minus 12 in Moline. So let's take a look at what's happening now. We did see clear skies throughout much of the day, but now clouds are starting to move in out of the northwest, and they'll continue stretching across our region through this evening and into the overnight. We should see partial clearing overnight as we head into Tuesday, starting the day with some sunshine, but more clouds moving in, and our next system arriving by the late evening hours. A chance for some light snow expected across the area that could bring some minor accumulations by early Wednesday morning. Now, let's take a look at another round of snow moving through a little later on in the day on Wednesday. Again, minor accumulations expected with generally around 1 to as much as 3-inch amounts, mainly in the northern portions of our viewing area. So yes, we are going to get more of that winter weather. And if you are hardy enough to brave the cold temperatures tonight, we are looking at the possibility of seeing the northern lights. Again, the level 4 geomagnetic storm taking place, and that means that the aurora can be amplified during this period. So a very good chance to see it. But as I mentioned earlier, it is going to be very cold out there during the overnight. 4 degrees for the low, and wind chills down to -5 in some locations, but not as windy, just a few passing clouds. Highs for tomorrow back in the double digits for a change. 22 degrees in Stockton, 23 in Preston, 24 in DeWitt, a reading of 28 degrees in the Kewanee area, 29 in Oquawka, 30 in Monmouth and the Quad Cities, looking for a reading of 26 degrees. Sunshine in the morning, then an increase in cloudiness, and then some snow arriving by the evening hours. As we take a look ahead, you will see that first alert day in effect for that light to moderate snowfall Tuesday evening, and then drier conditions as we head into late Wednesday and early Thursday. We see more of that cold air starting to move in on Friday. 0. That's as good as it's going to get. Temperatures down well below 0 for the overnight low. Only 3 above for Saturday. We're back in the teens again on Sunday and near the 30-degree mark on Monday. So a couple of first alert days coming up, just something that you want to be aware of. And again, more snow, more cold on the way. It is winter in the Quad Cities, however.
Yeah, it is winter, and it sure feels like it too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that update. And as we switch back to news, tensions escalating yet again over President Trump's attempts to make Greenland a U.S. territory. The Prime Minister of Norway revealing overnight Mr. Trump said in a text message he no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace after failing to win the Nobel Peace Prize, which is awarded by an organization in Norway. NBC's Garrett Hack has the latest from Washington.
With tensions heating up over the Arctic island of Greenland, President Trump ratcheting up his rhetoric and economic pressure to own the Danish territory, declining to answer when asked by NBC News today if he would use force to take it over, and threatening a 10% tariff on 8 European countries that oppose his fight for the island, that he says is vital for U.S. security. But today, the Norwegian Prime Minister giving another insight in the territorial tussle, releasing a text he says he received from the president that states, quote, "Considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace." Administration officials pushing back.
We are not going to outsource our hemispheric security to anyone else.
European leaders now looking at options to counter Trump's new import tax, including their own tariffs and a so-called trade bazooka, never before used, that allows EU nations to retaliate, though some leaders taking a more measured tone.
I think that this can be resolved and should be resolved through calm discussion.
The EU is America's largest trading bloc.
I think you will expect to see a number of senators join in an anti-tariff resolution filed right when we get back.
The escalation in tensions is really troubling, and we are on the verge of a crippling trade war with Europe.
Trump has made no secret he wants to own Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security very badly.
To counter what he calls a growing threat from Russia and China. But in a statement, the Chinese government says the U.S. should stop using a China threat for selfish gains. President Trump will head to the Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this week, where Treasury Secretary Bessent says the president will tell officials that this is what American leadership in the world looks like. Garrett Hake, NBC News, the White House.
Winter weather is taking a toll on roads across the Quad Cities, and drivers are feeling it every time they hit a pothole. Public Works crews say they're working around the clock, but with freeze-thaw cycles continuing, some potholes are coming back almost as fast as they're being filled. And Moline crews have used about 25 tons of asphalt since November. City officials say it's a constant battle, especially in the winter months.
After every freeze-thaw cycle, we'll have potholes, so every snow, basically, every pothole we filled, for the most part, we'll probably have to fill again. So just be patient, and you might have to call the same one in if that happens. That's just the way the road maintenance works with the cold mix in the wintertime.
City officials say one of the biggest ways residents can help is by reporting potholes, because crews can't fix what they don't know about. Today is MLK Day, and a local business has unveiled a mural showcasing all that the day stands for. You're looking at a mural found in Celebrity's Beauty Supply Store in Davenport, completed by local artist Isaiah Williams, featuring civil rights leaders Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Madam C.J. Walker. Williams and the business owners say it's a true representation of history, past, present, and future.
They all represent so much, but they're so different. So I feel like they all kind of represent their own thing and just history. So
we want everyone to believe in the dream and know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So that's what this represents.
In your news at 10, hear what this mural means to the artist and what he hopes the community takes away from the piece. Airing Sundays this month, Real Conversations dives deep into the side hustle economy and discusses building wealth beyond the 9-to-5. KWQC's Kayla Page has a look ahead.
This week on Real Conversations in the QC, it's our final discussion on all things regarding the side hustle economy. Tracy Singleton sits down with Shay Springfield, who's not only an ICU nurse, but also runs her Garden of Bloom med spa business. And she's got advice to those looking to start a side business, but facing a challenge many of us know too well.
Definitely be ready to really structure your work-life balance and being able to make sure that you have your schedule set in a line, so that way you don't overwork yourself, because in the beginning I would say that I would find myself staying up a lot later at night and then getting up early, and so what I've done is just really found a good balance between working my shifts in the hospital and then working running the med spa, and just really making sure I keep those separate.
And you can watch Real Conversations in the QC this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. only on KWQC.
And that does it for this digital newscast. We'll be back for another digital update with more news and weather at 6.